Where's my counter? I know it's real when the counter shows up. There it is. Yeah. Good evening. Welcome to the Brothers and Sisters podcast for today being February 8th, 2022. January's already gone. We're just rolling, trucking through 2022 now. February is here. Our special guest is Jennifer Cummings. Hi, Jen.
Hey.
Nice.
That's all of that, but glad to be here.
We got a jam-packed show, obviously. Shawnee, Walter, Autumn, Mia, Sean are here to go through topics that are directly or indirectly affecting the Black community and to provide many perspectives. You know, we are the brothers and sisters. So first, our guest, right? And she may be ducking in and out of conversation for, yeah, there's the scroll right there. Ducking out of conversation for obvious reasons. See, I was gonna put that's much better. I was gonna put Jennifer Cummings, like, you know, shook Jennifer Cummings, like like
right.
Careful, yeah. But no, so that's much better. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here. So
you ready to tackle these topics?
I might be. I might, like you said, I might dip in and out just because of my day job is a little political, but I'm glad to be here and I'll weigh in when I can.
Nice. You want to give the people a little background?
So yeah, I guess I was born and raised in Baltimore, and that's how I know some of these folks. I think mostly just the guys, but also, it's nice to meet you lovely ladies. And I went to Roland Park Country School. So again, that's kind of the connection here. Went to Howard, I'm representing. It's like, for me, and I live right now in DC, and I live in a pretty, it's, you know, it's upper Northwest. It's a pretty white neighborhood, pretty liberal mostly. Though I do live down the street from Comet Ping Pong, where they got shot up. And the protesters like to come there. So anyway, but the point is I like to go out and I like to go out in the sweatshirt. But anyway, yeah. So I went to Howard, majored in communications, started working right out of school. Super fortunate to do that in the year of 2003, which sounds so ancient now. And yeah, I mean, I've been working ever since. So now I work for an association of CEOs of America's largest employers, but still doing the communications thing, and still also trying to sort of reconnect back to Baltimore, which sounds silly because it's like 45 minutes away, but it's a whole different world. So anyway, I'm sure we'll get into some of that. But after I lost my dad, I really have been investing a little bit more of my time in the youth there. So
nice, very nice. Again, thank you for joining and lending your voice to today's show. And let's get after it, right? Because there were a bunch of topics. We normally have a listserv where we throw around ideas. Walter's really good with, like, you know, throwing out stuff, and it's like, yeah, we could talk about this. Autumn had some good stuff that we're going to cover. So really we got 6, 7, 8 topics we really could cover. But yeah, we're going to talk about we got to talk about the Black kids adopted by white parents. Yeah, that gets tricky. That gets tricky.
Was there a big story with that? I didn't see.
I didn't see.
Just generally.
Oh,
just generally, she just came across a story and I read. I was like, oh, like, yeah, look out for that, especially in this time.
Who knows?
And we're gonna circle back around. Also, there was some controversy with what was the show when we talked about the FCC going after Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion, and because people were like, what about my kids? And I think we were saying so we didn't have a lot of us. It was pointed out that a lot of us don't have kids now. Representation of people with children on the show has grown tremendously. Thank you, Shawnee and Jamia. But I think at that time it was just those of us who were childless, who were like basically, watch your damn kids, right? If you don't want to have them watch Megan Thee Stallion and Cardi B, watch your damn kids, right? And then that elicited some response. And so we come full circle. We can kind of sort of address that again with the Kanye and Kim thing and the social media of the kids. Like, full disclaimer, I work at a school now, and part of my job encompasses going to parent meetings, parent groups, and just hearing what they're talking about. And like the social media kid thing, like, is confounding. Like, it comes up in like every meeting. Like I've been to the Black parents, Asian parents, alumni meetings where parents are talking about their kids. Social media is confounding. So we'll definitely talk about that. Joe Rogan is a racist. Again, I don't have anything wrong with Joe Rogan. I know plenty of racists that I affiliate with for sure, right? There are plenty of racists that we know in our families, there are people we work with, like, somebody that you're associated with. It's like, that's pretty racist, but it's what it is, right? I don't, but Joe Rogan is a lightning rod. Oh yeah. I know I got some family who hate her white people. Hate them. So like, yeah, I know it's his family, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta think about that. I grew up in a white city, so I don't know. I don't even know if that was like a luxury. I can't. There's a lot of biracial people in my family, so just based off of that, no, you can't.
I know Black people.
You cannot base it off of that.
No, but to your point, I know Black people were upset about the commercials with interracial like couples now. Like, they're mad too. Like, I've
seen some posts about that. Like, why every couple gotta be fucking mixed? Can't we have
I don't think that.
I think it really hits hard.
I think that's more so that it's like, what do companies have against having a Black couple? It's not so much like they're mad about it. I think they're mad about the imbalance. Like, what's going on here? Do you not want to show two Black people happy together?
No.
More Black people represented is fine. More Black people represented, we're always for. But I'd rather have this step than just all white people, right? And like, people are like, no, like, I'm not for it. Like, either have it like it was before, or like,
I think, and I know I've heard some women say like it's always a Black woman with a very awkward, not very attractive white man. So it's like, is this what white men want to see?
Yeah, well,
I don't know.
Yeah,
doesn't bother me.
Yeah. No, it's
actually, I saw I don't know what I was reading. I think I may be the only person who uses Flipboard still, but I do. So anyway, I was flipping through, and there was a post about, or there was an article about white people taking issue with there being all Black commercials.
Yeah.
Like, it was like, you will not replace us kind of thing. But I thought that was a new one. So
okay.
Yeah.
That's expected though. Like, I expect white people to be, generally scared of Black people like taking over things. Like, that's kind of sort of ingrained in the DNA. This was like,
wait a minute. All these Black people in here, and it's like 3 Black people and 50 white people.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, okay.
That links in what ends up happening, and I've noticed it now that we're 28 episodes in, like, these things end up kind of linking together, right? So you end up, the conversations are kind of going smoothly. That increase we were just talking about, right? We saw that kind of sort of reaction when Biden said he was picking a Black woman for Supreme Court. It was like, oh my God. It was like, what do you mean? Like, what's the big deal? Like, if she had,
in this entire country who's qualified to
Yeah.
be a justice. That's
It's like it's absurd. People are short circuiting. You got your man at Georgetown saying that no matter the black woman who he picked, she would be lesser. I was like, oh, it's constitutional. It's like, right?
we shouldn't be angry.
Scholars,
We
like,
should not
okay.
be angry, even though we're considered to be inferior.
Yeah. And then
he did advocate
they got
for
the clips of talk.
I think he advocated for an Asian American pick, and in a very crass way suggested like you still have the good optics of choosing, another.
Yeah, you check.
That's just
box,
another
right?
way of being racist. Like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, he had beef with Sotomayor too. Wasn't fucking with that either. Right? Was not fucking with Sotomayor either. Didn't want that. No Sotomayor, no black woman.
No.
Everybody else, you tell me. I'm not calling him a racist. Well, no, let me take that back. He is a racist. I just don't care. Like he's just a racist. Like, I mean, if he should, I care that he would be in a position of authority over people's, livelihoods as far as their grades and law school. Like that would concern me, just like Amy Wax did at Penn. But otherwise of that, it's like, oh, you're racist. Like I think we're at the point now, post George Floyd, post, everything that's happened, where it's like, things are kind of settling back down. And I think there's just more of an awareness that there are a lot of racist people out there, but I don't see much action happening. So that's where it is.
Well, it ain't that much. Didn't Amir just get killed in his own bed or on his own couch?
Yes, he did. I believe you asked where the NRA was.
Is that what the story was?
Yeah, where's the NRA? That's right, because they don't care. Legal gun owner in his own home. Cops roll in with a key. He pulls out. They shoot him. Oh, okay.
Because the true purpose for guns in America is to
kill people.
Yeah.
Black people.
Kill people.
Yeah. And the NRA is a racist organization also. Like, we should probably just, get that out there too, not to make anybody, uncomfortable. We should probably leave. I mean, we've seen enough, right? Where it's like the NRA is nowhere to be found, where legal black gun owners are killed, to the point where they don't even want to respond to people being like, why aren't you responding? Like, it's just like, that's not really what we do. There are black gun groups now that I know are growing. So, maybe there'll be some salvation there. As somebody who's lived in Baltimore, Philadelphia, Brooklyn, Manhattan, now LA, I've never felt the need to have a gun.
Yeah, I'm not.
If somebody comes up with me with a gun,
whatever
then that's just the way I'm going to go. That's just what it is, right? That was my way to go. You introduce a gun to a situation, then the chances of like death increase tremendously.
Yeah, I mean, there's millions of white people who could live in constant fear of the late night intruder, who have never had any of those situations happen to them in their life, like a day in their life.
There are exceptions for like people who live out in the middle of nowhere. Like, I heard, this is so random, but in very rare instances, like there are people who have to deal with like wild animals possibly coming onto their property or coming near them, and like wild boars and stuff like that. So in that instance, but that's so rare. That's so rare.
Yeah, that's a lot.
The wild boar Negro.
Right, exactly.
No, actually, I heard about it, and I was listening to a podcast hosted by 3 black people who are not like into guns, but they were like, I saw that video and I got it. I understood why some of these people wanted guns.
So I don't think you need the AR-15 for the wild boar either.
No. That is never necessary. You just need a shotgun if you have good aim.
Well, a lot of those people in those areas, like I said, it all ties together, are probably with a certain political party who, again, Walter pointed out, has 40 black candidates across 7,000 races.
Candidates.
7,000.
Hey,
7,000 races. I'm gonna have a scroll at the bottom. I'm not trying to embarrass anybody. And like I said, we can't put Jim in a tough spot. But I think that's remarkable to me. that there are 40 black GOP candidates across 7,000 races.
If we think about it hard enough, we can name 10.
I was gonna say, it seems like it ties into, the topic that we discussed a while ago about more black men voting for Trump. Maybe there's
That's not a fair assessment.
Are you surprised at the highness of the number, or what are you surprised about?
That there is a number at all.
Good question,
There's a number
Sean.
at all?
Actually, Sean, I've actually thought about that. There's a number. So 1 in 10 would be normal, right? 1 in 10, that's the, Walter's a sales guy. It's like a sales rule, right? You hit 10, you want to get 1, right? And the really good guys get more than that. 1 in 100, yeah. And plus 1 in 10 would also be about the rate generally black people vote against the GOP, right? I think it's a little lower now. I think it was like 82 to 85. I think that's what Biden ended up with. So it was like 85-13, and like 2 didn't vote. But that's generally what it is. 1 in 100 feels right? About 70. So it feels a little bit lower. So maybe, Sean, that's actually a really good question. Maybe I thought it would be more. I thought it would be more.
I thought 40 is high, but maybe that's just based off of the bubble that I am a part of, because I don't associate with people.
40 is a 0.5%, right?
Like, I don't know
any black 0.5% of 7,000.
Not even 0.5%. Yeah.
Yeah. A little short of a 0.5%. Does it matter? That's the question.
They're gonna win. They're gonna win. They're gonna win. They'll be all 40 of them will win, except for the dude running Herschel Walker. Except for Herschel Walker, they'll all win.
Is John James in there? John James is who got me banned from Twitter.
Tim Scott runner. No, Tim Scott not up to 2024. So yeah, other than him,
Donalds is running again. He'll probably win.
And I wish I could name Florida. Who's that punk down in Florida? What's his name?
That's Donalds. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. Yeah. Who else? There aren't that. Some of them are new candidates, so maybe that's what it is. There aren't too many of them in Congress anyway.
I'm gonna run as a Republican and flip when I get in office.
Looks like where it is, right?
That's what I always hope for. Like, maybe they have like a bigger plan in mind.
I could run as a Republican in Delaware and win, and then flip when I get in office.
Right? That's what Vernon did. Vernon was in Georgia, felt the tide turning. I'm a Republican now. It's like, really? Okay. That's what I thought you were talking about. We were talking about him accepting. He dropped out of the governor's race in Georgia, and I mean, that guy will do anything for a check. So I figured they came to some sort of an agreement because he had a lot of Trump people for him. But no, that's interesting. That was a good question, though, Sean. What do I think about that number? Yeah, it's a little bit higher than a 0.5%. A little low, yeah, not quite a 0.5%. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe I thought it would be higher, but
I thought it would be higher too, honestly.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
right, because you heard about the inroads that Trump had made and stuff like that. You figure there'd be more black people running as Republicans, right?
Yeah,
like how we saw, women, especially black women, have been, motivated to run for office. Is like a boom. Like you think, I thought it would have happened coming out of this election, but it did not.
What do we know about that woman who won lieutenant governor in
Winsome Sears? Yeah, Winsome Sears for sure.
I don't know anything about her. Anybody know any background on her? Because I haven't looked her up at all. I know she was in the Marines for a bit, but that was it.
Maybe this is the first round. Like, maybe other people are like, let's
wait and see. The number could grow,
and maybe it'll grow. Yeah.
Yeah, but if 12% of us voted for Trump, it's like between 10 and 12% or something like that, I would have thought that we would have had at least 1%, right? Like run for office as a GOP.
I feel like those are the guys who they're like, they feel like they're the smartest in the barbershop. They're not actually going to run for office.
Trump is actually who has it. Trump actually has the answer. It's like, okay. I did want to kind of sort of keep it in that arena, and we touched on it earlier. But yeah, I actually have it titled "This Which Black Queen is Biden Picking?" because this just tickled me to death. It was just so funny. I was like, it was like one of those giddy laughs, like just the banshee howling about like him saying it, and it was just like, oh God, you're so bothered by it. It made me feel good. They had the clips of Trump and Reagan saying that they were gonna pick a female Supreme Court justice. That somehow wasn't the same. There seem to be two women at the front of the list that like all the lists are showing that he's going to pick from. They're both really young. One's 45, one's 51. They're both trying cases now. What would the significance of this be?
Well, it changed the game, right?
Yeah. Definitely have another jurors for 30, 35 years, right?
Hopefully.
That's a left. Yeah. Does it have any cachet? Did Thurgood take it all away? Has Clarence Thomas diminished it? What does it mean to be a Black Supreme Court justice?
Well, it's got to be representation. It's got to be something that's important for the cause, right? It's important to have our voices in the room. And Malcolm X said it best, who's been more mistreated by the government and by others than the Black woman. So why not have that voice on the court? I think it should have been done. I think even before Sotomayor or Kagan, we should have had a Black woman on the Supreme Court. Just my 2 cents. But who would you pick? Would you pick someone completely polarizing, or would you pick somebody that's straight down the middle?
So you were going. Walter was throwing out political picks in the chat.
Think
He's
Susan
like
Rice
Susan Rice for.
I think Susan Rice, not Michelle Obama. I think Susan Rice though.
I'm telling you, just going to be nakedly political. I see.
Absolutely. She's wicked smart. She's wicked smart, and she's not going to take no crap from anybody. And you can't trap her. You can't trap her during her hearings. You can't trap her.
She wouldn't pass the confirmation hearings though.
I don't think
no
she
Republican will vote for her.
Right?
No,
yeah,
no Republican will vote for her.
You don't need a Republican vote.
Like not one.
You don't need a Republican
Joe
vote.
Manchin wouldn't vote for her.
Sure, he would.
No, he would not. No,
I think he all but said he will vote for whatever Black person comes up.
Him and Kristen Sinema would be like, yeah, we're no. She would not get the 50 votes she needs. She would not get 50. No way, no how would she get 50.
Is it?
And
I think
the
it's still 50,
Democrats,
right? Because
it's the goddamn Supreme Court, not the Supremes.
Right? Yeah.
Closet Democrats who like let Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema take the fall would speak up because they wouldn't vote. Like normally,
Sean, I feel like that
for
would
all
have
the
been
people
some
who
of our
Joe
more outwardly
Manchin and
racist.
Kristen Sinema like take the fall for, like those people who agree with them but don't want to say anything because they're the ones out in the forefront would have to speak up and be like, I'm not going to vote for her either.
Yeah, you get it. Yeah.
She would not win a confirmation hearing.
I'm a huge fan. I'm a huge.
Are unanimous?
I'm a huge fan of Susan Rice.
She was unanimously adopted to the United Nations.
Yeah.
Right, but that's not a lifetime appointment.
Sinema and Manchin voted for her.
That's not a lifetime appointment, though.
Yeah, in the court now. UN is a little different feel. And I'm a huge Susan Rice fan. I'm a general fan of the National Cathedral School. It's a great school. And she's one of its distinguished graduates. But yeah, I agree with Shawnee. I don't think she get confirmed.
She's super qualified. I agree with you. She's super intelligent. She's super qualified. I don't disagree with any of what you said.
Does Michelle Obama get confirmed?
Absolutely not.
She wants nothing to do with this.
I agree with you, Autumn.
She's worth $100 million. She good. She worth $100 million. She good.
Yeah.
If Michelle Obama was nominated, then she get confirmed.
No, Michelle Obama would not get confirmed either.
She wouldn't get nominated.
No.
She's real popular, but I think that popularity fades once you get thrown into the arena.
I think that it's a separate thing, right? Because Michelle Obama is a non-practicing attorney who hasn't practiced law in.
She'd have to. Actually, you know what?
Right,
I don't even think that matters anymore. I don't think it actually ever mattered, to be honest. But I wonder if that would be held against her in confirmation for, I think, where Walter was going at. because she hasn't.
Well, didn't Donald Trump nominate people who the Bar Association said were not qualified?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
for federal judgeships, not for Supreme Court, but
Yeah.
for federal and appellate judgeships. Yes, he just blanket copied the Federalist Society, whoever they said they wanted.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Trump is not looking at like judges and like jurisprudence.
Trump
Like,
can't read.
they got.
Trump can't read, man.
Is he
Yeah,
one of
he's
the
not about
guys?
that.
Yeah.
He's not about right. He's like, yeah, that's our guy. But yeah, people were just nailing and walling all the stuff I was reading, because obviously I stay in right wing media. That was just, ooh, wow. People are not ready for that, and it's gonna happen. I don't think there's anything that can be done.
I wonder, you know, Biden obviously said it during his campaign. Did he have to reiterate it when Breyer said he was going to be retiring?
I wonder if it's a play from, we hear a lot of stuff in the background about civil rights groups not being happy. We lost $15 minimum wage. There are all sorts of things that those groups aren't happy with. So I'm wondering if this is one of those promises pre-election. Now it's here, and it's like, okay, you have to do it, right? Or else I'm going to lose this constituency. Because the way he's going about it, right? He's not playing politics at all, right? It looks like they don't even want to play the politics. I don't know if they're not good at it or if they don't want to play. But he's doing a ton of shit, though. So it's like, okay.
He's not good at politics. That's
it's like they don't want to do it, or like they're not good at it or whatever. It's like, why don't you address this? Why don't you say this? They're like, nah. So yeah, like I said, we talked about, I liken it to Harry Truman, which means it's probably going to be a very close election in 2024. But yeah, Biden's doing a lot. He's just not playing the politics, so it's tough.
I'm standing by my prediction, Quasi.
Yeah,
the Democrats will not lose the House, nor will they lose the Senate.
That's what you said. If that's true, I'm going to look at odds for that. That's absurd. That would be amazing if it happens. Things have broken your way since you said it, though. But yeah, I don't think anything's going to stop this.
Why? I think that the attempted gerrymandering across multiple states is failing in the state Supreme Courts, and it's not enough time for the people to appeal to the U.S. Supreme Court in order to get those things done. Only 2 states have made it, just North Carolina and Alabama. No one else has time to get there. So as those states and those local appellate courts say you can't line up the district this way, it is overwhelmingly apparent that it's going to be very, very close to status quo, or the Democrats pick up 1 or possibly 2 seats in states like Texas, right?
Oh my gosh.
Where the minorities have overwhelmed the white folks down there. North Carolina is another prime example. The state Supreme, the federal appellate court in North Carolina was like, nah, you literally surgically applied the rules to try to make all the black folks in some puzzle piece of a district versus shit that makes sense. So Democrats are guilty of it too. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, everybody is, yeah.
But these Republicans, man, they're really trying to maximize by putting all the black folks in one place. And I was actually just listening to an article on maybe NPR this morning, and they were talking about how the reason that all the black folks are in one spot is because of racism.
Yeah.
Because of redlining over time, and because it's an issue.
But
yeah, that's my bet. That's my bet. There's 24 Senate seats coming up, and there are more Republicans up for re-election than Democrats. And in the House, just the analytics of it all, right? Yeah. Every year since Reagan, right? It's got to change. If Trump won, that changed the dynamic of the elections, right? If he's out there in public, dude, he's gonna force people to lose. People won't go vote. They don't go vote, we win.
Yeah. You're also depending upon this strategy that they're using is depending upon, I think, a more informed electorate than what we have, though. Because I know people who follow politics who do watch the CNN, MSNBC all day. Like, what has Biden done? I give like a bunch of stuff, that like he's done by executive order, not Congress, but what he's done from the office. And they're like, oh, I didn't know that. And part of me is like, I wish they would tell people that. And another part of me is like, why don't you of all people know that? And so then it makes me think, I'm not sure about this electorate, but it's what it is. I'm just happy that this is. I'm just happy that he's going to follow through on this. I think it'll be galvanizing going into midterms, also in the sense
Bingo.
of, oh yeah, like this is why we rolled this way, especially with Georgia coming back up again
And
this
I
year.
think there's gaming. I think he's gaming it, right? I think that if I was him, I know that my politics have been bad these first 18 months.
Terrible.
Why wouldn't I bag all these wins and then pour them out week by week going up to the election? I did this, 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 and then show the data. We get the most jobs, the stock market's much better, blah, 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 blah. Great. Stack them up.
But
and
you got
like all these things are happening at one time, but I don't know. I could be wrong.
You got to worry about the anger, and this is actually something I texted at the end of the day. Friend of the show, Luke Anderson, is actually the DEI coordinator, Shawnee, at a private school in Rhode Island, Moses Brown, and he like texted me today. He's like, "We made Fox and Friends." I was like, "Oh," and so like he showed me the link, and it was about woke Valentine's Day at Ritzy private school, like causes rancor. And so he was like, we did this 3 years in a row. So they asked, like, if you're gonna share like Valentine's Day cards or like Valentine's Day, like accoutrements, that it not just be all white people. And yeah, like apparently up there's a parent in Rhode Island just suing all like the charter and private schools for like their curriculum, for like he says, he's like she's looking for wokeness and like just going like she's plugged in all this conservative media.
Wait,
and so he was like he was on the
by all white people you mean like on the
like if you exchange a Valentine's Day card, right? Like
white people on it.
Yeah, yeah.
Acceptable,
no, it's not even not acceptable. They just they're like just be cognizant that you're doing it.
Oh, so
yeah.
Just because it was brought to their
so be intentional about inclusivity type thing.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And so he was like it like hit all the Blaze and hit all this media. They're the director of their lower school, because this was for the lower school kids, right? Who did this made this directive is black. I guess he's getting all sorts of death threats now, and like he's scared. And it's just I was like, oh man, like these people aren't going to do anything. I understand. That's why I was asked. I was like, first death threats? And it's like, yeah, like you'll be okay.
Yeah, but not everybody wants to smoke like you do. I see, like some people just want to do their job and live in peace, and you shouldn't get death threats for suggesting.
He's an administrator in all white ritzy private school. There will be smoke, and he's black. Yeah, there's going to be some smoke. He should expect that. That's why I
can understand why he's not comfortable. He's not.
I mean, again, it's just me. Maybe he has wife and kids or whatever, husband and kids or whatever, partner and kids, and it's like he's worried about them. But
I've never had a death threat. I think I'd be nervous if I got one. I mean, I'd probably still have a smart ass response to it and be like, "Yeah, we'll come by my house then." But still, I'd be scared.
So I debated some white nationalists some years back, and like won. They said that I won, and then I just got flooded with like all sorts of threats and harassment for like months after that.
So the white nationalists agree that you won.
Yeah, they gave the
debate.
They won the debate,
and because of that, you should die. Like you.
Oh man, we had a Q&A afterwards. There was some racial slurs thrown around. It was interesting. It's still up on the site.
It's so exhausting to be racist. Like why?
Somebody.
Like why?
When I was interviewing, they talked about that. They're like, "You debated white nationalists?" I was like, "I did." On race in the 21st century and the role that it was going to play. But yeah, you get death threats. People, those types of people who are like, yeah, I'm going to kill you over your Valentine's Day recommendation, or I'm going to kill you because we talked about common themes between, white nationalism and lower education. Like, they aren't going to kill you over that. Those people like live off of like, instilling fear. Like, him being scared is what they're getting off of, not like him actually, not like they're actually going to do anything.
So are these people who live in the community, are they like actual parents who are doing the death threats? Or are these just random people who've
I
heard
think
about
these are random people. Like, it's a because it's a national Fox
it? Okay,
story
'cause
now. It's like,
that
you're
is
woke.
something that I
It's like,
can't
it's like,
imagine an actual parent going to the DEI,
yeah.
person and saying you're gonna die. Like that, I feel like the school would have to take action.
Well, so no, Luke is dealing with like the policy. Like, who's actually getting the death threats is the head of the lower school who instituted like the be cognizant of like just sharing like white people on Valentine's Day. Um
It's probably because they said white people. I'm wondering if they phrased it a different way.
that's what I think that's one of the issues, but
And maybe
again,
it
I
would
don't
be
know how else you
so,
can do it. I know
yeah.
communications is like it can get dicey. If only we had a communications expert on the podcast that would be able to, oh, hey, Jen, what's going on?
I mean, you could just say diverse, right?
That's
I mean, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I
or take
mean,
diversity into consideration. I feel like the word white triggered them, and it shouldn't
yeah.
be triggered by it, but yeah.
It almost seems like you guys are advocating for the law to not hurt white people's feelings when we were talking about these
No,
things.
I personally don't care. In my
That's what
day-to-day
it
life,
sounds like.
in my day-to-day life, I don't care. But I know when it comes to like any sort of institution, whether it's school,
Yeah, it's gonna true. Yeah.
in order to get people to buy in, you have to be really cautious about the words you select.
Yeah.
You do have to be considerate of their feelings, because when you do, you can get more and like more positive things out of them. And it sucks that you have to coddle, but it's like you got to take baby steps whenever you're doing things in that sort of
So
realm.
yeah, and I think that's where the organization comes in, right? And you asked a good question: was the parents like the school itself is about it, right? The parents, the students, they're all on that train. These are just people who saw them Fox and Friends and the Blaze
Yeah,
and other right wing media who got the story and were like, yeah, like, we're gonna fucking kill you. It's like, ooh, like, hey, it doesn't have to be that
think
serious.
that the school embraces it, and that there are, I would imagine, majority of the parents embrace that as well. Like, let's be inclusive,
Right? Yeah, I mean, you would have to, and I think especially in private, we had pushed back at Gilman. Sean and I were actually talking about this. The great former governor of the state of Maryland, Bob Ehrlich, did not like the way that Gilman was headed when it came to diversity issues and DEI stuff. And it was just like, what exactly is your beef? And like, it seemed like he just wanted to put his statement out there and not have a substantive dialogue. But there's going to be pushback. In fact, if there isn't pushback at like these kinds of schools, then like you aren't doing enough, because it was like what was entrenched has been there forever. And to unearth it, you're going to have to make some institutions, some pillars at schools like that uncomfortable.
You have to get on change things. Like, there's nothing you can't massage people and change. It's gonna have to be a little uncomfortable at least, but some people don't feel like life should be uncomfortable at all, because
no, and
it's just what it is.
It's the only way it'll happen, the only way change will happen. Like I said, otherwise, like if people were comfortable, like why would they change? Like they wouldn't. But yeah, the same people who are probably calling the Moses Brown are probably big fan of this guy.
They probably don't.
Joe Rogan, who was all over the news. I have to be honest. He fascinates the whole thing fascinates me. I had no idea he had the reach and the platform that he had. You think 11 million subscribers, it's like, okay, like you feel that's a lot. I was like, okay, it doesn't seem like a lot. 200 million downloads every episode. Like, that is remarkable.
Every time I look at iTunes, just to browse and look for like maybe a new podcast or an episode of a podcast that I'm interested in listening to, he's always number one.
Yeah.
Always.
So I mean, that's
love
what makes this story so delicious.
And he has. I just heard this today. He has a biracial adopted daughter. Is that his excuse? Was he using her?
There it is. And there it is.
Like, you know, I'm
I
not
had
ready.
no idea. There's another layer to this story.
Like you niggas know I'm not racist. I have a biracial daughter.
Biracial daughter.
Which is insane. I feel like people who adopt biracial children or children of color who are not of color do it because they think they can do a better job at parenting ours than we can. They don't. That's obviously not always the case, but in some instances, that's what it is. I wouldn't be surprised if that was a joke because he's racist.
Yeah, but I'm sorry to interrupt. Go ahead,
No. It's
learned that today.
It ties into the black kids adopted by white parents also, but I didn't expect it to. You dropped a bomb on me there. I wonder if that impacted because he voluntarily. I thought, Spotify was coming in. It's like they're going through your shit. We need to get rid of these episodes. Like apparently he signed off on it. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But I would imagine because he has the upper hand in this whole deal. I saw Rumble offer him $100 million also if he would leave Spotify and go to them. So he's got multiple $100 million deals on the table as if he were like an NBA free agent or something like that.
Yeah, because how Spotify works is like if you have a deal with Spotify, it's an exclusive deal. If you were to leave Spotify, his reach would be even broader.
Yeah. He's like taking the sure thing. And what's funny is that you see Spotify was like, they had to clean up. And so they were like, we're going to give $100 million of underrepresented programming also after this whole thing. I was like, oh, it's like it wraps a nice little bow on this. Because I don't know how we can't say that Joe Rogan is a racist. I mean, he's not a racist. Like he clearly is. So it's a matter of society just being cool with that, which I think it will be, and keep his platform and move on. That was my biggest takeaway from the whole thing. And shout out to India Arie also. I hadn't heard that name in forever. And like she like pointed attention to it.
She put the highlight tape together.
Yeah, she put the tape together, right? The production was mwah. I was like, this really makes him look like a racist. Probably because he's a racist, right? And it's like, yeah.
No one can make you look like a racist if you're not racist.
Oh, people were coming with the context. You knew the context defense was coming, but I don't know. Tough to take some of these things out of context.
Yeah, the Rock had to walk it back, right? Walk his support.
Yeah, The Rock had to walk it back. Stewart came to his defense. We know Dave Chappelle is his man. Like people love Joe Rogan. I didn't know. Like, he might be a nice guy. I don't know.
He probably
people came hard to his defense.
I don't listen to his podcast, so I don't know what it is about him that would make people come to his defense. But I know, there are a lot of people in the world who are like that, and they're not racist in like the traditional ways that people associate with racism. So maybe that's it. And then I'm sure people.
No, you have to understand how. I don't know exactly how they do it, but how most white people understand racism. Like, for them to be called a racist and accepted, they have to be like I've never hung anyone or fed a baby to an alligator.
I don't put crosses on people's lawns and burn them. So how am I racist? It's like you're racist if you make hiring decisions and you only choose the people that you would be comfortable with working with, and it just so happens that those people are white. Like that, if it's not racist, it's still like some implicit bias. Neither of them are good. They're still wrong. Both of them.
Yeah. That does seem to me that's what CRT talks a lot about. Also, the failure of civil rights movement to kind of sort of explain that, like, no, you don't have to be a cross burning, black people hanging, white person
racist. People
to
don't
contribute to what's going on.
They don't see the.
It's like I don't want you all dead. I'm not racist.
Babysitter is black. Janine is a really nice girl, like that.
Yeah.
I don't think that they're aware of the ways that they can be racist. And if you made them aware of those ways that they can be racist that are not blatant, their heads would explode, because then they'd really have to re-examine their lives and how they treat people. And they would have to accept that maybe they're not as great of human beings as they think they are, and that they would have to change. And change is hard, and not nobody, but a lot of people do not want to go through the uncomfortable process of changing. So they just stamp their feet in the ground and say, no, that couldn't be me.
The hard decisions, right? The hard introspection. But yeah, I mean, I imagine he'll go on and he'll land on his feet and be okay.
He will be just like he will be just fine.
Yeah. Sean, I did not know honestly about the because we're definitely gonna go to the Black kids adopted by white parents next as the preview.
This is what I don't know how true this is. You might have to look this shit up, but this is what I'm told. I'm told he has a black. I'm told he has a biracial adopted daughter whose mother is the baby mother of lead singer of H-Town, Dino, who's saying somebody rocking knocking the boots about her.
He's passed away, right?
This is what I'm hearing.
This is just what you're hearing.
Yes.
Okay, it says Joe Rogan and his wife have 3 daughters now. But this is not, I don't know if this is legitimate source.
It's on Radar. That's not a, I don't know about that.
Are we on it?
About the name of his stepdaughter.
Is the lead singer of H-Town dead?
I know that there's someone.
Did he die in a car accident?
Aren't some of them aren't more than one of them dead?
Stepdaughter Kasia Rose after her dad died in a car accident. So let's see. Is
Kasia Rose? I like Kasia. That's off to a good start. That does not sound like a Hawaii name.
Right.
Yeah, we're off to a good start.
Yeah, the guy, what's his name? Kevin Connor, Kasia Rose's father.
Is she black?
She appears to be. She appears to be biracial, but you can't tell at a person is biracial or black.
Okay. Yeah. Not a racist bone in Joe Rogan's body. I take back the whole slider down at the bottom.
I mean, these might be one of those.
Yes, her biological father, one-time H-Town lead singer, Dino Carter. Wow.
I don't know where to begin.
The problem with a lot of these racist white people is that they actually do have good black friends who are okay with some of their behaviors. They let it slide. And so it's like, well, I have all these black friends who are blackity black and they're cool with it.
Well, he's got tons of black people vouching for him.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does.
Because I'm sure, I mean, he's a part of one of the greatest Dave Chappelle show episodes, and it's heartbreaking that.
Right.
What is it?
Episode.
This is not the first time I've tasted penis, Joe Rogan.
Yeah. Suck them juices.
What did he say? Joe Rogan, let me tell you something about me. I smoke. My
feet are strong.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, on second, I thought about it 30 seconds later. Yeah, I'm not sure if adopting a black daughter still doesn't make him not a racist. I think he's still a racist.
No, there are tons of people who
change like that, right?
I forget who the politician is, and they have one.
There's racists with biological black dogs.
Exactly, very much.
That's true.
So yeah, who is it? I can't recall who it is, but it's someone who is like a well-known politician, and he and his family adopted a black baby some years ago, and the baby is so beautiful, and I'm just like, oh, you poor thing, growing up in that house.
Yeah.
God, pray the child has a.
It's like watching Kaepernick on Netflix.
Leave. Walk away from their family.
Walter had a client call him. He said he'd be back shortly. She's 79. Oh, I already know it. There it
I got a
is.
terrible. What? What happened?
What happened?
Falling and she can't get up. What is you talking about?
I don't know.
Yeah.
He added that comment. He was like, "She's 79." I'm like, okay.
Which to me
Is it
indicates
an
That's what I
emergency?
was told.
I would
Maybe
think
it's
that
an emergency.
79 years old indicates that she could probably talk. So it might be a minute.
Oh, okay.
That's what I was thinking. Like
That makes sense. That makes sense.
yeah, she probably, and you don't want to be disrespectful. Whatever she has to
Yeah.
say, you're gonna listen. 79 years old, I think you've earned that. So yeah,
I need to. Yeah, I gotta take care of it. It's fine. So I guess we're getting requests now. That's remarkable. So we should talk about black kids adopted by white parents. But I guess we kind of sort of segued into it with Joe Rogan. I told you guys, and I guess Shawnee and me are all over. People want to know about the when should kids be on social media? I don't know. Can you guys see the comments? You guys see that?
I don't see.
So yeah,
Kanye's not having.
Chris Mill's a good friend of mine. He is friends with my homegirl from law school, Jess, from Florida. Now he's a teacher, and like he was talking about like the social media thing. And like I said, whenever I roll around to parent meetings or talk with parents, the social media and when to be on it is like a huge topic. And so from an unenlightened, non-parenting perspective, I would think that that would be something that you can control. But and my two sisters explained to me why that view was mistaken. And
oh yeah, y'all last conversation when all of y'all coming from non-parents, me and Mia were hot.
we're single.
I was like, oh well.
Just delete the app. That'll take care of it.
Autumn, you were loud and wrong the last conversation.
It'd be all right.
You were
Turn the
loud
comments
and
off.
wrong, but loud.
Because when it comes to kids, I'm like, they're your kids. Just pull your parent card and snatch things. Like, I don't get it. I don't.
So I think
spoken like a non-parent. It's okay.
The issue is
okay.
like I guess the community, right? That they're
I'm
in.
an auntie, so like I'm an auntie. I don't deal with the everyday. So.
Right. We know it was obvious.
So is it a thing? It's tough for us to really get a grasp about the Jen. I don't know if you have kids, if you're married. This is largely a single podcast, right? Childless, like all these people are just doing their own thing, and so we opine about these topics, and a lot of parents are like, "The hell," like, So it's my understanding that kids are surrounded by other kids, and there are different standards for social media, and particularly black parents. I talked to the Black Parents Association. They've been like, no social media. Like, of course, these are self-selecting parents, like putting their kids in private school or paying the money. Like they're like, yeah, like do fucking schoolwork, don't do social media. But all their friends are on social media now, and they're like, I can't stop it.
I'm curious about so I don't know, for the people I know who are parents in general are not cool with the social media.
Yeah, right.
I'm just why to me it seems like the majority of parents are not okay with it. So it seems like if the majority of parents aren't okay with it, maybe even not like worldwide, but maybe even within a certain school or a community, like is it a way to like maybe get together?
It seems like not okay has different levels.
Okay.
Yeah, not okay is different levels. Some people's not okay is you're not going to be on social media at all. Some people's not okay is like your punishment is no social media. Where like the norm is like deep into it, and so like not okay ends up being like
or like aren't there like parental blocks, like things that you cannot permit your child to see? Is that
there are? There's
disable those things. Yeah, I don't know. These
loopholes around
their friend shit.
Exactly. There's loopholes around it. So it's like you can limit things within your household, but when they go to school.
Oh yeah, because everybody has that badass friend.
Right.
Look at this.
That's where the exposure comes in. You can have your ground rules for your household, right? It's the same as like when our parents would be like, don't have your ass over so-and-so's house because they bad. But then you find out what's going on over at so-and-so's house because you have a friend that's allowed to go over there, or you sneak and you go over there. It's the same thing, just online now.
It's a
So
little hard for me to my mom was such a drill sergeant. I
Tough,
wouldn't
right?
dare disobey her rules. So I'm just like, my mom said, no, I ain't doing that. Like, but not all kids think like I thought. Like I was a little old
Yeah,
woman.
it's the opposite for a lot of.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
normal. I think the norm is probably the opposite. I was a little weirdo. Like,
Yeah.
can I cross her?
Yeah. I mean, the social media question is crushing parents right now. Like it's like the thing to the point where like in other meetings, like people are like, yeah, I've been meeting with parents in social media, and it's something to me, and like this is obviously with the context of I guess Kanye and Kim Kardashian's divorce being just public knowledge, public fodder, and the parenting issues that they're having are being played out in public.
I mean, that's him though.
It's a very public kind of thing, though, right? It's been the whole time, right? So I guess this makes sense.
Yeah, but when he gets on live, it's like somebody give me the address to my kid's party. Somebody give me like
Yeah.
that's him, bro.
Yeah.
Cyber law, I mean, Quasi, you know this, like from when you went to law school, and I remember being like, it's still very new. It's like the Wild
Yeah.
West.
Yeah.
There are certain, things that probably should be in place that have not been established because nobody is really sure how to establish. Because honestly, like depending on the social media platform, children should not be there, or there should be something separate for children. But the law, it takes a while for laws to catch up to that sort of thing. So
I think one of the other issues is, particularly in certain places, you've got kids using social media, creating businesses and making tons of money, right? Like
my
kids are rich.
daughter, she's not making tons of money, but she's got her Instagram. There are rules. She's only permitted to follow who her parents are comfortable with her following. Her account is private, I think, except for, it's like
Autumn.
friends and family submit the request.
You ever heard of Finstagram?
No. No.
Yeah.
You know what Finsta is?
No. I don't
all of them got fake pages or their nasty page, bro. I'm telling you.
You know me. I don't live my life in the sewer, in the gutter. So these things are for me. I don't live in those spaces. So to be honest,
how old is the girl, Autumn? How old is your friend's daughter?
She's 10.
Okay.
And it's only for her. She has an Etsy. It's only for her business. And my friend's rationale is like, if my child doesn't feel comfortable with coming to me about something, I need her to know that there are other adults in her life that she can comfortably speak to. So it's like, okay, this is somewhat open. Your aunties are on here, my like the friends that I approve of, that sort of thing. So like she and her husband are trying to create a space where she can do it in a healthy way that they approve of. I know that's challenging. But I mean, right now she's 10, so she's probably not like sneaking around trying to find inappropriate.
Yeah, Fence is like 2 years away, 2-3 years away.
Yeah.
I was going to say 12, 13.
Yes, it's very possible. Even if she doesn't look for it, I'm sure there's going to be a friend who's like, you've never seen
Correct.
This? Look at this. And right. And, some kids may not even be interested in that, but they're still going to be like coming home like, Mom, what's this? And it's like, whoa, we shouldn't even be having this discussion right now. Good grief. Yeah. Ooh, y'all were kids.
It's funny. They showed some of the comments, and the comments were very lewd, very lewd, very inappropriate. And it's like, oh yeah, that's right. That's why kids shouldn't be on here. Oh,
right.
And then people are like, you just turn the comments off, and it's like, okay, let the kids be on that. Yeah, that's very interesting. So we got through all the topics. We're at an hour. So we can tee up Jen, talk about the good, the bad, the safe. Safe is the word that you're comfortable with, correct, Jennifer?
Safe is good.
Safe is
Yeah.
good. Like I said, I was gonna put scared, but that's all right. We're rooting for you. So talk about as much as you can what you do now and how it rectifies with your vision of what it is that you want to be doing.
Yeah, that's good. So I mean, but like before, so right now I'm the VP of communications at an association in DC. And I mean, I think for the most part, it's very sort of pro growth, pro opportunity, pro all Americans should be able to succeed. And I think that's in line generally with my vision. They were a client before I went to work for them. So, I had some familiarity and it was a good opportunity. I think that, approaching kind of 40 and like, I don't know, just sort of reflecting on the past how many ever years and thinking about kind of what's next. I feel like probably something more in line with my vision, whatever that is, which is still sort of being developed, might be a better fit for me. And I don't know, it's interesting because, I think that corporate America is making some steps forward in working to atone or address different systemic causes of racism and racial inequity and injustice. But I think that like business is one pillar. There's government, there's sort of academia and civil society. I'm forgetting a group, I'm sure, but I don't know. I sort of see myself maybe moving to a different pillar. Maybe that's the best way to put it. Yeah.
Is it satisfying, or do you find it rewarding?
I do, but I've really the pandemic has really been. My dad used to be like, "It's a booger bear," but it is. It's because it's just been like sort of this time to. Like you've just been kind of, at least I have been when I was working at home solely, it's like, it's time to make the donuts, like time to get up again and just like do it all over again and work really late and get up again and do it again and again. And at some point it's like that monotony has existed for what, like almost 2 years now. And it's left, I think, obviously a lot of people feeling like, but like, what's my purpose? Like, what am I supposed to be doing? Like, this is not it. I don't want to make the donuts anymore. I don't want to get up at this time anymore. I don't want to answer to anybody.
Right.
Like, and so I feel like I'm in some ways probably like grappling with all that, just like everybody else is. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I don't know. This is definitely not like the last stop on the journey at all. But do I know what's next? Not 100%. No. And it's the kind of opportunity that, like, when something comes to you and people reach out and say like, hey, you want to sit down and talk about this opportunity, it's like one of those things where I feel like I'm somebody who, it's like if it's coming to me, then I at least have to, like, there's a reason for it. Like, I mean, it may not be the thing for me, but like I would feel like I was missing out on something if I didn't pursue it. And so maybe in some ways I'm kind of waiting for that next thing to fall from the sky, though that's not a way to plan.
That's interesting. Sean always talked about that, what's for you is what's for you, right? When you talk about like roles and like what you're gonna get, like if it's for you, it's for you. If it's not, like it's not, right? That's what it made me think about when as you were going through that. And then just for our audience, I'm hopefully our audience is informed enough when you say your father to know who that is. But just in case they don't, we do have some children that are going through our current education system. So maybe you talk about who he was and how, I guess the legacy that he left. but it's tough for you to do that because you're his daughter. But like it's try to be as objective as possible as doing it.
I'll do my best. So my dad was Congressman Elijah Cummings. He was, I guess, ever since I'm 39. He passed away when I was 37, and for that whole time, he was in public office in some way. He started out in the Maryland House of Delegates. He became the first Black Speaker pro tem, which is like deputy speaker. He went to Congress at some point in the 90s when we were in, I don't know, high school. I think it was like 9th grade, 8th grade, something like that. And served until he passed away in 2019. That's a quick summary. But when he passed away, he was chairman of the House Oversight and Government Reform Committee, which plays a really important role, especially when, well, it depends who's in office, but especially if it's the opposite party, then there's a lot of investigating going on into what's happening. And I can sort of imagine that if he was still here, that he would be doing a lot of that work. I've talked about sort of his sort of political accolades, but I think one of the things that in his passing, something that I was never at all involved with is something called the Elijah Cummings Youth Program. And it's for kids in the 7th Congressional District who are in high school. They have to apply to be a part of it. But it's basically a fellowship where they learn leadership skills. There's the whole sort of underlying premise of it is connecting the Black and Jewish communities. When the kids are in their, I think it's the summer between their senior year and when they go to college, they take a trip to Israel. And they haven't been able to go the past couple of years because of COVID, but hopefully this summer they'll be able to go. And I want to go with them.
Francis.
Yeah,
we had 2 at St. Francis, Kamani Todman and Shania Handy. I wrote the letters of recommendation, so I remember the Israel trip, and because they wrote about that in their college recs, their college essays. Kamani is probably a junior now at Penn State, and Shania is finishing up her freshman year at Morgan. So I'm familiar with the program for sure, but continue. I didn't want to interrupt. It was
No, that's perfect, because honestly, like, you just spoke about 2 people who are representative of the fellows that are in the program. Like, I've had the opportunity to participate in some, virtual sessions with them. And they're impressive. They're so impressive. I mean, they make me feel like I need to like just be in their presence to soak up like some of that like youthful determination and kind of like wisdom that hasn't been marred yet by experiences of the real world. And like just all of that kind of, I don't know, just sort of like yet to be tapped potential. And it's exciting. And so at any rate, my dad, there are lots of things that are a part of, his legacy. But for me, I feel like being a part of this program is like the thing. It was like, what's for you is for you. And this is something that felt like this is for me. Because I feel like whatever it was that caused him to create that program more than 20 years ago and to get it going and to sustain it, like, for it to go away would be a disservice and a sort of dishonor to his name. And I feel like if I can help carry it forward, that's something I want to do. But the past few years have been an interesting place. Grief is a real mother. It really is. Yeah. It comes up in all different kind of ways, and like the work that I do, because I work in DC, and like, I'm watching congressional proceedings, waiting for a vote to finish so we can send out a statement. And it's like, I see all these empty chairs and I can't help but think, you know what I mean? And he was so many things to so many people, but at the end of the day, it's like, I just wish I could call him and be like, Dad, like, what do I do about the situation at work? Like, how do I navigate these dynamics as a Black woman in this environment? How do I, and and I have friends who help fill that role, and definitely through like therapy and all of these good things, like, you sit and you try to sort of reflect and hear that voice that you could dial up before, that it's nothing like the real thing.
Yeah. I think family is a theme that we reflect on a lot on here, obviously, right? Like, well, most of us are related, but it's something about having that person, having that rock, that stability, whether it's especially a parent, where you can, it's something to process for sure. And I wasn't even really particularly close with my dad, but even when he died, like right after I graduated from high school, it's like, oh shit, my dad said you got to process that. Yours, I'm sure, was a little bit more involved. I'm gonna leave in 4 minutes, but the conversation is gonna continue. So this will be my last question. So if I get up and leave, it's not because I'm disinterested, it's because Laker time. Do you feel any pressure to carry on that legacy? And if
I
you do,
do.
how do you, are you succumbing to that pressure, or are you conquering it?
It's weird. It's like, I guess succumbing to the pressure would be like, oh, I'm going to run for office or something. I really believe that that's something that you have to be called to do. Like, if you're going to be a public servant of any kind, if you're going to be a police officer, if you're going to be a teacher, if you're going to be anybody who interacts with people and like their lives are dependent on the actions you take, then you really have to be called to it. You know what I mean? And my dad used to say all the time, he's like, it's not about me. And I feel like if I was called to that, then I would do it. I think that what I'm trying to do is something that my dad said, which is like, just be the best you can be. Be the best you can be. That's it. Like, nobody else can do that. So, like, nobody can do you. Nobody can do you. You know what I mean? It's like, so just be the best me. And that's what I'm trying to do. I think that I'm humble about the fact that I don't have it all figured out yet, but I feel like the path has been laid and the steps are ordered, and so we'll see.
So no pressure, showing the pressure. I like that. Jen's walking her own path.
I mean, you have to, right?
Right?
Yeah, I hear that.
Sure. Sure. Okay, guys. On that note, I just called the lift. These five brothers and sisters will be able to carry out the last 15 minutes of this bad boy. Jen, I will text you thanks and a couple other things. You guys take care. Giannis and LeBron. Yeah, it's time for me to make this happen.
Have fun.
I'm going to the Sixers and Cavs game on Saturday since I'm in Philly, so it'll be exciting. It's just not exciting as going to see my damn Lakers. I did go see them last week, but
yeah. Get out here, man. Get out here, man. I'm going to Laker games like once, twice a week.
Get me the partnership at HW and we'll be good to go.
Like I said, I'm perusing those openings, man. If there's anything that comes open, not only will I recommend,
I'll make it up,
make it happen. All right, guys. I'll see you next week.
Deuces. Have a good one, man.
Have fun.
So, growing up as the child of a congressperson, what was it like?
It's interesting because I feel like I probably didn't think about it until I was in college. And I think that's because I was like, don't let me do anything that's going to get me caught up. So it's weird because now, I mean, not that I'm out here doing things, but
right. You're not Jen Cummings, you JC from the block. Got it.
There's gotta be pressure though. I'm sure there's pressure, even if you aren't into things. Sometimes people are looking for you to like misstep because of who your parents are. I think. Did you ever experience that?
Yeah, and like people who you know, weren't necessarily genuinely interested in like being my friend or being, you know, like because they were trying to get an internship or whatever. But, you know, I don't know. I feel like maybe it was like being a kid in like the 80s and 90s. Like there wasn't as much just like, I mean, talking about social media, like that didn't exist. So like there weren't all these sort of like outside influences. And I feel like my parents, I kind of just looked at it like they just like, my mom was an educator and my dad was a lawyer and like happened to do politics. But it didn't feel like, I don't know, it didn't feel, and even now, like I don't feel like, oh, I need to like go be Meghan McCain or something. Like that's not, I don't, you know, because it's like you have to be authentic to who you are. And I think that my dad used to say that he was an ordinary man called to an extraordinary mission. And I feel like when you believe that about yourself, then it's like the people coming up underneath you. Like I'd never, while I was like really proud, and I still am very proud, I didn't use it as like a ticket to get into things or whatever. You know what I mean? Because it felt like that's his accomplishment. That's what he did. Like I didn't earn that. Like I didn't build that. I didn't make that.
So now you're all out. What's life like for you now? Now that you're all out, working, crafting your own path. You know, how is it living in the big city down in DC when you have options to live anywhere in the world? Why DC?
That's a good question. You know, I actually like as the years go by, you know, it gets old. Like DC has gotten a little bit old for me in some ways, which is why, you know, I'm not sure about what the next thing is or where it's going to take me, but I think it's just sort of like the constant like political discourse and like this talking head and this talking head and these talking points and you know, and it's just like, I mean, I feel like I probably consumed more media. I mean, that's hard to say. I guess I consume it in a different way. But like, I feel like when I was in college or like right after college, I would watch the Sunday shows like lined up, like back to back. Like I really cared, you know, what people were saying. And now I'll make myself turn one on or I've got them DVR'd or whatever. And like, I find myself having to like rewind because I'm like, what did they say? Because it just all sounds like
noise.
Yeah. So I don't know. Where is everybody?
So I'm in Delaware, and I think Mia's in Virginia. Everyone else is in Baltimore.
Okay. Okay.
So I'm like right in the middle. Like I'm like 45 minutes from Philadelphia, 45 minutes from Baltimore, and maybe an hour from DC. So
that's a good spot.
Yeah, sort of. It's sort of a good spot, right? So like, you know, when my life changed and I got released from Philadelphia, I had picked somewhere to live, and I had to find a job that paid a lot of money because I had a lot of bills. Because you know you get used to making dumb money when you doing playing sports. So I got in the car business, and I was a general manager pretty quick, but it was in this area, so I had to find a house. And I've been here ever since 2004. So it was just convenient. You know, I could be on the train into New York in an hour and a half. And when I was single, man, let me tell you, no moss grew under my tires at all between the train and Atlantic City, Baltimore, DC, Philadelphia, New York. I was always on the go. So, but yeah, and it ended up being convenient because my mom lives down in Severn. And my grandmother said, we're from Baltimore, so, you know, East 43rd Street, Oyokeeda. You know, we down in the hood. And then my sister lives in Harlem, so, you know, everybody's kind of close. And I'm in the middle. And when my mom and my sisters are beefing, they all come to my house for the holidays. So, you know, it works out. It's good. It's good. It's good. It's like the mediation, you know. It's pretty good. Y'all all quiet.
I mean, it's been a day. The days are long. Like I feel they are. Like I try to get up like early. I mean,
the days are always long.
Listen, welcome to the club. Welcome to 40. I'm 43. Y'all all young. Y'all all 30 something. I'm 43.
I'm 41.
Ooh, okay, I was
I
41
am
once.
not 30 anything.
I was 41.
People.
I'm 41,
so
but
my
not
day,
much longer.
my day starts at 4:30, and I'm running until 11:30 every single night. So
Wow.
yeah. I had a lady right now, just now, text me. She was like 89 years old. Or client.
But
And
you get to do something you're passionate about, correct?
I do. I'm very passionate about it.
Does it make it easier to get up early in the mornings and stay up later at night? I don't know, because I have yet to get to do what I'm doing.
So question for you. Is your delivery better with her?
No.
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 So here's the truth.
Because it's Walter. So no.
Jen, here's the ongoing discussion, Jen.
You're like, what have I walked into?
They always try to dig in, right? And here's the I have to be the same way with everybody when it comes to certain things, right? Especially with your health, how you look, because if I give you something that's not accurate, it will give you the idea that something's not right. And I don't want to ever give that to somebody. They seem to think that I'm trying to insult people when I give them the truth. That is not my intention. If I want to insult somebody, I will listen. I can insult them with the best.
I think compliments are his love language.
Say it again. Wait, say it again.
Approach.
Compliments are your love language.
There it is. You say they make up new words for me.
I've never heard.
They make up new words for me.
Me and Mia know. We tell him all the time. Compliments are his love language.
So this is a compliment and an insult together.
Yes.
So the backhandage.
I need examples.
See, there's no. So here, I'm gonna give you an example. I'll give you an example.
Wait.
Don't use an example about me, but go ahead.
So it is an example, like, oh wow, you're doing really well today for you. Like,
he's like,
why is that bad?
He's like Shawnee.
It's not necessarily bad, but it's not.
Started working out, you had 2 chins. Now you only have like 1.5.
That's accurate.
See, progress.
Okay, that's progress, yeah.
Maybe it's like tough love.
But you doing all right.
See, Jen, we here. I understand. You see, it's like the guy on the boat. I am your coach now. You know, I'm like the guy on the boat on the movie. When I say it's good from where you started, it's good from where you started. That's fantastic. You know, you can't.
Not with you have like 3 chins. Now you have 2. That's not good from where you started.
You're back. You look like
you can laugh. I'm used to
it. Who are you
Thanks,
saying?
Sean. Thanks, bro. Appreciate it. Appreciate you digging in too. You see, this is how. And they talk about me with the compliment salts. All of them just come for me every day, and I'll do nothing. I'm just a nice guy. I'm just a nice guy. Do me a favor. Do me a favor.
Faithfully give him receipts in our text. We're like,
2 people. There are 2. Jen, there are 2 types of people that don't lie. Drunks and children. Get them kids. See if they think I'm nice or not.
Oh, kids don't play.
Because you bribe them.
Well, I'll pay you. I do. I don't care what they think. I'll pay you. If their money is mine.
Who's footing the bill? And are you bribing children? Because that doesn't.
Who doesn't? Wait, who doesn't bribe children? Who doesn't bribe children?
I don't bribe my child.
I gotta tell you. So and that actually. That's a good segue to one of my firm beliefs. I believe that children, especially Black children, should know what it's like to be loved by somebody who don't want anything from them. And that's why I'm always overly kind to these children. Black children should know what it's like to be loved by people who don't want nothing from them. And that's how I treat them. Right?
Yeah.
You know?
That's true.
And
kids in my life.
I don't know. Like I can't go to the store. Like when it's Girl Scout cookie season, I can't go to the store. They get me every time. These ones, that one right there, this in the corner, I bought a case. Thank God I never saw it.
He did.
Thank God I never saw the case because
you donated.
I know that's what I'm saying. It could because I'd ate them all. They'd have been gone.
Right.
I'd ate them all.
Children, yeah, no, I understand that for sure. Like
Walter's like the brother with me and
children see me coming, and they're like, that one, you can do whatever she wants. Yeah, her right there. Because I do.
I get it, and I understand that there are sometimes that my conversations are tough, but it's never intentional. It's never out of place of hate. It's always just me being very, very straightforward. I'm not the type of coach or trainer who's gonna be berating folks with stuff. I'm not that guy. Do I want more? Of course. My job is to get more. My job is to squeeze more out of you than you thought you had. That's my whole job.
We need you to think before you say stuff, though. Because I told you, even when I hit my goal weight, and I'm like, Walter, he's like,
I was like,
I didn't mean it that way. No.
He's like, when I met you, you're a whale. Now you're a manatee.
That is accurate.
I hit my weight. I hit my initial goal, and he's like, fucking finally.
Wait, was there a reason? Wait. But was there a reason that it took a long time?
Finally.
Did we have technical difficulties? So yes, it was. Yes, finally we got there. It wasn't like Jesus.
It depends on the tone. How did you say finally?
I did it. It wasn't a tone. It was a text.
Oh, okay. So sometimes, text is, you can't always pick up on tone, but still, finally is not the best thing. I would say for like congratulations. Congratulations. I'm proud of you. You did it.
I say that all the time. Those are words that come out of my mouth all the time.
But this is
that came finally with like 5 exclamations.
I tell you what, Jen. I have my class on Saturday morning. Every Saturday morning at 8:45 a.m.
Oh yeah, Autumn, come experience our joy.
Yeah, Autumn.
I like to be happy. I don't want to be insulted while getting in shape. That's why
I get insulted.
Sing off key.
My class, and exactly. I sing and I dance and we have a good time.
Keep your camera off. My camera stays off.
Yeah, you turn your camera off. I don't care. Yeah. But the idea is,
you're good at getting up early, regardless. When I have
25 years to figure out what I wanted to be when I grew up, right? And I was fortunate enough to have a wife who supported me while I was going through the whole growing the business phase. And now my gift is to help more people. So every Saturday I do a free fitness class every single Saturday morning. It's been 1 year and 1 month now that I've done every single Saturday, never missed one. Even when I'm on vacation, I still teach the class on Saturday morning. I was on the beach in Curacao teaching the class at about 8:45
when you were competing.
No, you did 5:45. That's when we had our 5:15 class.
Yeah, you're right.
Curacao at 5:15.
Yep. So yeah, I take it seriously. You know, this is people's lives, man, and it's a space, in my opinion, that Black people and poor people just don't have the opportunity. You know, when I first started this podcast, I think Autumn, you said it, that there are so many food deserts in Black communities where there's not quality food, right? And no access to quality food. You know, so teaching folks how to have better options and different options and stuff like that. It's kind of like, it's what I do now, all day, every day. I believe in it, and I think that is directly related, right? How we look and how we feel is directly related to how long we live, how much money we make, how much education we get. You know, the richest, most educated, most healthy people in the entire country are Asians, and they live the longest. We're the poorest, the least healthy, and the least educated, comparatively speaking, across the whole thing. It's directly related. You got to eat right. You got to do good, eat good, be good, because you can't outtrain a bad diet. But you know,
I knew that was coming.
You know it was coming.
Waiting for it.
That's my thing.
For it.
It's a fact.
Waiting for it.
Well, I'm about to eat dinner now, so that's probably not part of the plan. It's a
I don't know what you got. Let's hear what you have. So what's the dinner like between Cummings?
These dumplings that are outside this door.
I love it.
Just
chicken and dumplings with some white rice.
No, just dumplings. Just dumplings and some. What else did I get? Oh, some spring rolls.
Oh, so you got some duck sauce.
Don't tell him, girl. Don't tell him.
I feel like I'm gonna get an email tomorrow that's like, good morning.
Right? Yes. Yes.
Yeah. I'm looking at
how much rice did you have? How much water did you drink with that rice? Yeah. Don't
I'm looking at this reminder right now that Walter sent me is right on my laptop. Try out my class. It's staring at me, and it's right above Walter's picture on the screen.
Well, I aim to please. All right, boys and girls. It is 1 hour and 28 minutes and 50 seconds.
Probably
I guess we should chalk it.
Wrap it up.
Yes or yes? Good.
Yeah.
Thank
so
you,
much.
Jen Cummings, for coming.
Good to see you, Jen.
With your words today. We appreciate you. Thank you so very much. Family, Chantel, Sean, Mia, Autumn, thank you all for coming. And Quasi, you can go pound sand going to the Lakers game without us. So, yeah. Thank you all. And we are signing off from Brother Sister Podcast. Have a good night, everyone.
Night, everybody.
Everyone.
Hope we get